They didn't attack her. They didn't threaten her. They didn't force her. And that's what makes what's coming terrifying. Because the most dangerous weapon in Pluribus has never been violence. It's comfort. It's kindness. It's the feeling that maybe, just maybe, you don't have to be alone anymore. Episode 8 is called Charm Offensive. And if that phrase sounds harmless, even warm, that's exactly the point. What happens when an entity that cannot hurt you still finds a way to break you? What happens when resistance doesn't look like a fight, but like relief? By the end of this episode, the question won't be, will Carol join the Hive? It will be something far worse. Did she already lose before the offer was even made? The meaning of charm offensive. A charm offensive isn't an attack, it's a strategy. In politics and war, it means overwhelming someone with warmth, praise, generosity, familiarity until resistance feels rude, until saying no feels cruel. And that alone tells us something crucial about the others. They are learning. Earlier episodes showed us brute limitations. They cannot intentionally cause pain. They cannot coerce. They cannot dominate. So instead, they adapt. Episode titles in Pluribus are never decorative. They are instructions. HDP revealed consumption hidden behind ethics. Got Milk reframed nourishment as control. The gap wasn't just geography, it was emotional distance. Now we have charm offensive. This is the episode where persuasion replaces power. And here's the unsettling truth. Persuasion only works on someone who's already breaking. A door left open, invitation without force. Soft lighting replacing harsh daylight. Silence instead of confrontation. Ask yourself this. If the Hive wanted Carol earlier, why wait? Why Carol had to be left alone? Carol wasn't ignored. She was isolated, on purpose. For 36 days, no guidance, no presence, no resistance, and crucially, no companionship. The others didn't harm her. They didn't punish her. They simply removed everything that made her feel human. That's the loophole. Kumba once explained that the Hive struggles with consent. They don't want pain. They want willingness. So how do you create willingness in someone who refuses paradise? You let the world do the damage for you. Loneliness, stillness, meaninglessness. The fireworks scene is the giveaway. It almost kills her, but it doesn't. And for the first time, Carol doesn't flinch. That moment isn't about danger. It's about apathy. And apathy is the soil where compliance grows best. Micro question. If someone no longer cares whether they live, how easy is it to convince them that belonging is enough? Firework misfire, chaos without intention. An empty house, safety without purpose. Time markers, erosion, not attack. The Hive didn't weaken Carol physically. They waited for her to weaken herself. Zosia, not a messenger, a mirror. Zosia's return isn't coincidence, it's design. She is familiar, emotionally safe, non-threatening, desired, and more importantly, she resembles Robin, the person Carol created when she had no one. That matters. The Hive didn't send a negotiator, they sent an emotional shortcut, someone who bypasses logic entirely. Zosia isn't there to argue philosophy, she's there to make Carol feel seen. And notice how careful the Hive is. No pressure, no demands, just presence. This is kindness weaponized. They're not asking Carol to surrender her individuality. They're letting her imagine she already has. Micro-suspense loop. Is this compassion or the most ethical manipulation imaginable? Let me ask you something. If someone offered you connection without obligation, but the cost was who you are, would you even recognize the moment you crossed that line? shared silence instead of dialogue, physical closeness without intimacy, familiar laughter in an unfamiliar world. This is not seduction, it's emotional anesthesia. Manus, the one variable they can't control. Manus was never meant to survive. Not because the Hive wanted him dead, but because they didn't expect him to resist that long. He rejects help, rejects comfort, rejects the new order entirely. To him, the others are invaders wearing smiles. The Chunga Palm incident changes everything. For the first time, Manus doesn't choose survival, he needs it. And who saves him? The very thing he refuses to become. Now here's the chilling part. Even after rescue, he doesn't arrive. Time passes. Carol remains alone, which means one of two things. Manus is far more damaged than we're told, or the Hive is delaying him, not with force, with care. Because if Manus reaches Carol too soon, the charm offensive fails. Micro question. What's more dangerous to a system built on harmony, violence or doubt? Spikes in flesh, truth that penetrates ideology. Helicopter rescue, salvation from the enemy. Distance, control without chains. Manus represents choice, and choice is the Hive's greatest threat. The moment that breaks the spell. Imagine this moment. Carol has adapted to the presence of the others. Loneliness has softened. Resistance has dulled. Then a man stands before her, wounded, exhausted, human. And he says, "My name is Manus. I'm not one of them. I want to save the world." That line matters because no one else says it anymore. Not preserve peace, not embrace togetherness. Save the world. This is the emotional detonation the episode is building toward, because Carol isn't cold, she's grieving, and for the first time, someone grieved with her. That's when tears become possible, and that's when the charm offensive begins to fail. Physical scars versus emotional comfort. Human pain versus artificial harmony. Hope that hurts. If Carol chooses Manus, she chooses suffering. If she chooses the Hive, she chooses silence. The twist isn't that the Hive manipulates, it's that humans might do worse. The survivors are comfortable now, protected, luxurious, and when Carol and Manus threaten reversal, they threaten loss. This is where morality fractures, because the Hive doesn't retaliate, people do, and suddenly the question flips. Who is truly capable of cruelty in this world? Episode 8 isn't about whether Carol joins, it's about whether resistance still matters. Because once comfort replaces freedom, going back hurts. And pain is something this world no longer understands. But someone does. And in the finale, that understanding may cost everything. So ask yourself, when the world offers paradise, who benefits from you saying yes?